I've always had a passion for acting, music, fashion, clothing.
Catch me in that Rolls Royce, baby.
And I just have this like innate feeling that I'm gonna end up in some Vegas body bag.
For today's episode, we have an acting sensation, an even bigger music stud, frat boy looking to some, but a sweetheart to all. Welcome, one of my closest friends, Cody Saintgnue.
Yo.
Hi, Cody.
Oh, I like this. I'm just gonna slide on into here.
Yeah, you like the whole studio setup we have?
It's beautiful.
It's not my living room, is it?
No, no, not at all. You would never do that.
No.
Absolutely not.
Thanks for coming, Cody.
Yeah, dude, I love you, of course.
I love you.
This is great. I'm so proud of you.
I'm starstruck.
I'm flabbergasted. Just
I'm
looking
hard.
into what?
Wow, I didn't expect to have Cody so early on the podcast. This is great. I don't even know where I'm going to start. I have a bunch of stuff, but I still don't know what I'm going to start with.
Oh man, it's all right. We're just gonna let the punches fly.
Let's ease into it because there's a lot of stuff I have written on here that we're going to talk about.
I'm excited.
One of the first ones. Cody came into LA as an actor who is now transitioning over to music, correct? Right?
Yeah.
Tell us about how you started acting, why you started acting, and your roots.
I think really I've always just loved to just entertain people. And I think that, I think just making people happy or just being goofy or silly, I think any artist can relate to being like the annoying kid in school, disrupting class, making their teachers' jobs probably more difficult than they had hoped. Yeah, that's how, those are the foundational roots to being a world-class superstar entertainer.
Wow.
It all starts with the school and annoying the teachers. No, but to be honest, actually, I was never like the star athlete. I was never the brainiac in school, but I made people laugh and I entertained them. And so I feel like how that all really started to happen was a girl was into modeling and I had a crush on her. Erin Bittner.
Wow.
If you ever hear this, this is for you. And she didn't like me at all. Could care less. And she just liked my friend and I was like, well, what is she into? I'm gonna take an interest in, what is she into? She was into modeling and I was like, I'm gonna become an Abercrombie model. She's like gonna have to like me.
Did you do that?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But it led me into entertainment. And I met an agent out there, Jake Lang, in Ohio, Wings Model Management. He looked at me and he was like, kid.
He looked at me, he was like, dude, I'm a real estate agent. Like, what do you want from me, bro?
I'm just like, bro, it's the next office over. Like, you trying to buy a house? Or like, what are you trying to do here? I was like, oh, sure. I'm like 12. I'm like, yes, I'd love to put a down payment down. Absolutely. This is where God wanted me to be. Oh, she's got to trust the universe, I swear. Yeah, and he looked at me, he was like, kid, you got the face for pilots, not the real estate agent. And
now you're in aerospace and flying and shit. Dude, you could be a pilot. You could be a very good pilot.
What's funny is that's what I thought. I was like, I looked at my mom and I was like, is he crazy? I said, I don't want to drive airplanes. I had no idea.
Like, I'm not Middle Eastern. I don't want to hit shit with airplanes. I didn't say it, you did. I didn't bring up airplanes.
So, wow.
What?
No. So yeah, then that happened and it led me into acting. I always loved music. I've always had a passion for acting, music, fashion, clothing, really just art and turning, the show part of show business into a business. And that's what I've always loved to do.
I think one thing that stood out to me, I was talking about on the last podcast with you, was you really enjoy like just seeing things come to life and you could care less about credit or any type of stuff. I was talking about how You remember this? This was supposed to be the name of the show we were working on. No script.
Yeah, I know.
So I wanted to talk about how you
Yeah.
told me before we even started, you're like, hey, we're going to get this picked up by some big platform, whatever it might be, Netflix, Hulu.
Yeah.
And then Cody told me, he's like, hey, when it gets picked up, I'm dropped. I'm gone.
Yeah.
And Cody worked harder than me, harder than anyone else on that project,
I
knowing
wouldn't say that.
his name wasn't going to be anywhere once it got released. And it just shows how much he just enjoys seeing something being brought to life.
Aw.
And that's something I talked about last time about how appreciative I am of that.
Aw.
And
You will make me cry.
cried in,
No.
bitch.
No, I think especially like, I don't know, in entertainment, I think it's very easy for people to become egocentric. And also, let's be honest, it is hard to get continual jobs out here. So people can start to feel a little desperate and they can start to get a little greedy, like, oh my God, I'm never going to have this opportunity again. But I really try to have the mindset as a foundation before the next part, which is I'm always in abundance. I know I'm good at what I do. If I did it once, I'll do it again and I'll keep doing it again. So there's no need for me to ever become selfish, all about me. And secondly, you're family to me. Like, I love you so much that I would do anything to see something of yours manifest into something successful and impactful and just amazing. So I'm proud of you for putting this together. And it's interesting to see how ideas start one way and then they kind of take on their own life and then they end up with no script.
I like that. So turn the AC down, Stuart. It's a little cold on my eyes.
Yeah.
I think something we can talk about is your early stages of acting.
Yeah.
You obviously had one breakthrough. I want to talk about, like,
Yeah.
we don't have to get in depth about what it was, but I'd like to know, like, how
Oh, the porno?
the porno.
Yeah.
I was so fucking bummed I didn't get it. I'm like, you guys fucking picked Ray Lewis over me. I'm like, we look the same.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis, you know who Ray Lewis is?
Yeah, the football player?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, the middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Stole all my acting gigs.
Right?
Gosh.
No, but I wanted to talk about how you ended up even getting a role like that, or like what led you to that and what came from it.
For which Teen Wolf? Yeah. That was a very funny like universe moment. To make a really long story short, it was 4th of July and my friends were like, "Hey, we're going to go to this party." I said, "Definitely down." I was like, I think maybe 19, 20. And went to this party, met one of my friends who's now a lifelong friend, both of them, Dan Studney, who introduced me to Jeff Davis. Oh man, this is bringing me back. And so he was asking me like, hey, like what shows are you watching? He was a writer. He is a writer. He's written on like X-Men movies, Bohemian Rhapsody. He wrote on Jack the Giant Slayer. Just a fantastic, talented, good person. I cannot say enough kind things about him. And I told him at the time, I was watching Breaking Bad, and I said I was supporting my friend Tyler Posey, who is on Teen Wolf. And I said, yeah, I'm watching Teen Wolf. And he goes, oh, Teen Wolf? He goes, let me introduce you to someone.
Oh, so you were watching, this was already a thing. You were watching it
Yeah.
before. Wow.
Yeah. I was watching it. And yeah, I was like watching Tyler do his thing. We used to go to acting class together. Like before he was even on Teen Wolf. Like we used to we were friends. And so I remember when he left acting class for a while, I was like, hey, where'd my friend Tyler go? They're like, yeah, he booked some pilot called Teen Wolf and he's Teen Wolf. I was like, what? I was like, dude, that's so cool. Like, that's awesome. I'm going to watch it. And yeah, so I was watching the show. And then Dan introduced me to Jeff Davis. And he goes, "Hey, Jeff, this is Cody. He says he's been watching Teen Wolf." And I was like, "Yeah, I think it's a really great show. My friend Tyler's on there, and I'm just so proud of him." And he goes, "Oh, you like Teen Wolf?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm the showrunner, executive producer." I was like, "Oh shit, Jeff Davis." I was like, "Yo, you did a really good job."
Mhm.
And he was like, "Thanks so much." And so then we became friends. And he didn't audition me for like anything for like a year or so. We would just hang out. And then all of a sudden he was like, "Hey, I got this role," brought me in. And yeah, like the rest is kind of history. I was only supposed to do one episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I didn't know the fact that you actually sat down, saw this, like literally saw it already brought to life. Next thing you know, you're on it.
It was pretty trippy. It was,
Imagine some kid just in his room watching a porno, just like beating it to Mia Khalifa. He's like, I'm gonna be there one day. And then like he wakes up a week later, like Mia Khalifa's
Yeah.
legs are spread. I dreamed this shit, baby.
she like looks up, she goes, "Am I on your vision board?" He's like, "Yeah, no, maybe." She goes, "I look good though."
I mean, shit, you did it.
Yeah, it was. I'm a firm believer in.
Shut up, Stuart. Stuart's vision board is just porn stars.
Are you serious? What? Wow. You know, I respect someone who has a one goal, and it's all about that goal. So, oh, hey.
But yeah, tell us about life after you had such a big like role or something, you know, because I look you up, people can look you up, and you got like these high, like super high professional photos taken of you like walking the streets. I'm like, damn, you were like living that celebrity life like at another level, huh?
I mean, I don't know. I think there's definitely levels to everything. Like, it was a huge learning lesson. I will tell you, like, I've definitely matured a lot since then. You know, that was my first time working on like a big show as like a reoccurring. I'd done some guest stars in the past before. Um, but there's just a certain responsibility. There's a certain maturity that you have to have on set, off of set, and a certain responsibility. And I think when I think about these child actors, young like the Harry Potters, Daniel Radcliffe, and just like all these kids that grew up in the industry, I look back on when I was 20, 21 and working on something like that, like how they got through it. The Cole Sprouses, the Dylan Sprouses that make it out okay and sane. I just have like this huge respect and just like it's actually very inspirational. So there's a lot of learning lessons. There's a lot of potholes that I had to learn the hard way, I would say. But there was also a lot of really beautiful things, like people, writing you letters from different countries and like fan mail and people saying like, "Hey, like your part in Teen Wolf like helps me get through the day. I'll have a bad day at school and I'll go home and I'll watch your scenes and they make me feel better." And it's like even talking about that right now like makes you emotional because I feel like as entertainers at the end of the day, that's really the goal. You want to create something that affects people positively, that inspires them, that maybe takes them out of their shitty situation, whether it's in a toxic relationship, a toxic family member, they went through a breakup, they didn't get the job that they wanted, like they have to relocate. Like there's so many hardships and learning lessons in life that to be a sprinkle of happiness in someone else's life is like, it's just really touching.
I think that transitions to what I wanted to talk to you about,
Yeah.
influence, and whether it's you influencing someone else or it's you getting influence for the type of work you're doing. What I know is there's three types of influence. There's rational, emotive, and serendipitous. Because I've been really researching. I've really been
Whoa.
into the power of influence. Because what I've noticed is the way I'm hoping to influence somebody is a lot different than like someone like you from what I have seen. And with rational, I think rational is more like just the way you live, um, what you think is right, what you think is wrong, and how that plays into your influence, whether it's your influence in work or your influence of how you're trying to bring it off on like onto somebody else. But then emotive, I think, is a little bit different because that's based on your past experiences, whether they're traumas, happy, sad, whatever it might be. That plays a part in what you're doing, which I think for you is huge because you're in music.
Yeah.
And music is such a big emotional thing where you could portray whatever you want to portray.
Yeah.
And with music, a lot of what you're hearing that really reaches that high class market is really truly the person giving you their past experiences, their past traumas. And I think you fall into that category where I come to you when I need help because I know you've been through some shit that has something to do with what I'm going through. Whereas rational and serendipitous, it's more like what you see through your life. And like, that's where I fall into in terms of, you know, me, like, my whole thing is I want to change the way a kid views things like drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
My whole thing is if I could be the change that some kid hears my name and that's the reason he picks something up or doesn't. But you look at my past, I haven't had no problems personally with drugs and alcohol, whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm still able to have this influence and impact on somebody with the platform I have. And just go ahead.
No, please.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit different than, I'm not saying like you've had problems, but I'm not saying like you fall into this category, but I'm saying like it would be more emotive, it would be more emotional if I had problems with drugs and alcohol and then I come and try to help somebody out. Whereas what I'm trying to do is something from something I haven't done, which I think there's two types of influence. And I think,
First of all, love that you're reading this. I've never heard of, we hear the word like influencer and influence, like it's thrown around, especially now, like it's its own arena. And, it definitely has what I believe to be a strong narrative around it. So to hear the word influence in this kind of broken down into three other ways than like the stereotypical content creator, I think is really powerful. And I'm so proud of you for diving into that because that's something I've always respected and admired about you is you bring such a light to a room everywhere you go. Like it's healthy, like people feel safe around you because you are a good person. You just are. And that's something I've always known about you. And what I wanted to comment though about you saying that you are you feel like you fall more into the motive or rational
and serendipitous.
Right. I think what you're onto though is something incredibly special. It's almost the foundation. So that way people who have been through something like that don't have to speak to as many people that are now having to get over addiction. See, you're the front wall. And I think people like you that make sobriety cool and treating your body like a temple and being like, someone who is successful, who is chasing their dreams, who has healthy relationships, who inspires people, doesn't need substances to do that. And that's its own swag, in my personal opinion. It's okay if you are going through hard things, if you do it on occasion. I'm not here to judge anything. But I think it's very powerful, you being the forefront of that. Because if they get a hold of you first, they're like, oh, well, he's not drinking and doing a lot of drugs and promoting that stuff. So then, like, why should I? So I think it's like crucially, very, very crucially important to be that foundation for kids and adults. And it gives them someone and a person who's doing well to be inspired from.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the money. Growing up personally, someone I looked up to a lot was Eminem. I have him back here too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. This guy was like into all that stuff, did some like almost died multiple times. And now he's at the level he's at. And like, I'm like, okay, cool. Like his success really came when he got off everything. And then, but the question always was like, would he have done it if he didn't go through all that? And I think as a kid, I was like, do I need to go through some kind of hurt in order to have something huge? But I think like, obviously we've all gone through hurt, but I'm not comparing anything I've gone through to anything like that. From where I come from, it's like, honestly, like I had a pretty like great childhood, great come up. So it's like I didn't fall into anything bad because I chose not to. I wanted to be able to speak from another perspective.
Right.
You don't need to go through something to have something great to
Right.
begin
Oh,
with.
for
So I
sure.
think you hit it right on the money that's like the point I'm trying to prove, that there's two sides, that you
Yeah.
can build something huge by never having to go through that real hurt, because it's real. Like it's
Oh
real.
yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot of people are like, no, I'm gonna go through all this hurt. I'll be in a $1 million car one day, but the hurt's all gonna be worth it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I really don't think that hurt, if you don't know what that real hurt means, if you're saying you'd be okay with that in order to be in something like that. So
Yeah. It's definitely about longevity. I mean, how many, you know, multimillionaires, successful artists, you know, everyone, I think, you know, at the end of the day, when you're constantly needing to poison yourself all the time. I'm not saying don't go out and have a great time, but like when it becomes a part of you, it becomes a part of your identity. Um, it's just a ticking time bomb. You know what I mean? And it's just not something that in the long run is going to serve you. And it's like almost like this, you know, debt that has that builds.
right.
Luckily, you know, I've definitely had my fun. Don't get me wrong, and I'll leave it up to your imaginations of whatever you think that is. But I can honestly say I've never been addicted like to something, which I'm so grateful for. Um, yeah, I've always just I think I think because of the past of where I came from and I've seen what that does. I have like this vendetta to myself to be like, I'm going to be someone. A lot of people were like, you know, they just laughed at my dreams, or they just thought I was like pie in the sky, or that I was too stupid because I like to smile a lot and like be happy, and I don't take myself like actually serious. So, um I feel so grateful and humble and like lucky to say it. Maybe my addiction is being the best me. I do have an addiction. That's my
love it.
addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I come to you when I need help.
I know. I know. Yeah, I've got some, and you know what though, Kia, you are, I'm just so proud of you. You are doing exactly what you need to be doing, man. You inspire me.
Oh.
You do. You really do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I'm proud of you.
While we're emotional, I wanted to ask one more thing. We hung out a while ago and you just had a bunch of stuff going on with your career. You're like, hey, I think it's time. I want to take a step back. I just want to go back to Ohio for a little bit, take a break, be with family.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's great. Like, talk to me about what like family means to you and why you wanted to do that at that time. Or
Yeah. Well, first of all, family to me, family is a choice. You know, someone I was adopted. I was taken in at 9, and I was adopted at 12, and so I learned early on, you know, family is a choice. It's not defined by blood. I mean, how many toxic families are out there that abuse their children, that abuse their parents, you know, the uncles, and just like it can get really chaotic. And I feel like a lot of our trauma can actually, and most of the time does, come through family. So just because someone is blood doesn't mean that they're meant to permanently be in your life. I'm not saying to not work through it. I'm not saying anything like that, but for me, I learned that family is a choice that you make. It's the actions that you take, and that's it. And I have an amazing relationship with my blood side and my adoptive side, and I love them both so much.
it reminded me of a T Grizzly song.
Oh,
Ready for
God.
this shit?
Oh my God.
Hit a beat, Chris. I got some people. We got different blood. They want to see me in a ghost. Rolls Royce. Then I got some people.
Ooh.
We got the same blood. They want to see me as a ghost.
Ooh,
Gang,
dang.
gang, T Grizzly.
Ooh.
It'll sound cooler with a beat on it. I trust you, Chris. Don't fuck this up.
Just like auto-tune the shit out of it. Not even like the right note.
It's like, have you seen Post Malone's first music video?
Is it
Where
colorful?
he's been like booty shorts. I'm like, Chris, where am I?
That's hilarious.
He like video shops me in Hawaii sitting down with like a coconut. He's like, ah. It was emotional. Let me hear. If you had $10 million right now, what would you do? Don't think, just say. Fuck the investing stuff. Okay, yeah, there you go.
I would literally help all of my friends build successful businesses that they want, and then I would start a it's something I've been wanting to start. It's called the YNA, and it stands for You're Not Alone, and it would help single parents grant wishes for their kids to help promote and get help. Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Where does the black Ferrari with the black rims come in? I know that's what you want.
That would come in after I built something successful enough to buy that from this magical genie of $10 million. As I get my bigger checks, I'm not going to go splurge. I want to create something else that then I'm able to do that. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Me? I'm just kidding. Catch me in that Rolls Royce, baby.
I mean, dude, you're already in the pink and blue Tesla. Like, where do you go from there?
I was gonna change the color.
Oh,
I was gonna go like purple and green.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I was just gonna keep switching the split.
You know what would be so great about that? Is it's like the Joker's colors, and then
Oh,
like the back of what it says, "I make your girlfriends laugh." You could then do like imprints of like the Joker, or like have his like face on the back of it.
Oh, that's smart. I've had like a lot of people. I had someone flip me off the other day.
Are you serious?
I don't know if it was the driving or the car, but
Probably both. Let's be honest.
I'm just driving. Sometimes I just see like this in the back. People are just like,
oh yeah, it's awesome though. Like it's so good.
But it's like sometimes I'm just driving. I'm like,
yeah. No, the white bitch just like the person who can just eat it.
I'm like, what's here to make it look like I'm eating Lysol?
A lot of ramen. It's like randomly hot. Just like.
All right. So I have like a list of stuff I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
I have on here. It says cock ring grandpa.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
You want to tell me your grandfather's cock ring?
Yeah. So
was it his?
No.
You want fucking like that?
Nah, man. He's not that guy.
He's not that guy. He
He's
got the
not
booty
that
ring.
guy. Nah, he's too suave and cool to. I don't know. Like that's a whole other ball field.
So what is it? He was a jeweler, right?
So he's a jeweler, a very very good jeweler, and I was asking him because we love to talk about business. I just really enjoy. I think it's exciting, and he's done a lot of cool shit. So I was like talking to him about his business and how he started it, and how he was in debt at one point and how he came all around. And then when I was like, okay, all right, I got the serious questions out. So then I was like, what was like the craziest customer? Like what was that? And he goes, well, Cody, there was one time someone came in and they asked for a cock ring. I was like, what? Like a bedazzled, like what was this thing? He goes, no, he wanted a cock ring to go around his cock, and he asked me if I could make it. He goes, well, shit, I can make just about anything, but there's only one thing. I will not measure the dimensions.
I was going to say, does this guy have to come in, jack off to get hard, or attempt to get hard in front of your grandpa, and then your grandpa just takes his tape measure around?
Never happened.
He's like, yup, it's sick. And the guy's like, shh, keep it down. He's like, say it out loud.
Yeah, but he would never. But can you imagine if he just looked at it, goes, I already know the dimensions. Like, no measurement. 6 by 6, dog.
Your grandpa's blindfolded. He's like, all right, let me see this. Let me see the size of this one. Sorry, grandpa.
Yo, he's a boxer too. He's probably like, if he ever hears
Your
this,
grandpa?
he's probably gonna whoop my ass. Yeah.
You're gonna whoop my ass too.
Yeah, dog, we gonna be on a hit list.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, so the guy brought in the dimensions and he basically just made like a golden circle cock ring, and he goes, I did something even better for you. I encrusted it with red rubies. There you go.
Really?
Yeah.
So what is like how what is it? Never mind. What do I ask?
I mean, I haven't seen it. I'm sure my grandfather hasn't either since
What,
he
the
sold
cock
it.
or the ring?
I don't think he saw the cock, but the ring. The cock ring.
I I wish your grandpa would have measured it. That would have been a better story.
Yeah, no, he didn't. That was
Do you like tape measure around, or what do you do?
I mean, I would imagine it's you would need a ruler that is able to bend, so a tape measure would
On-
be.
On the topic of penises, before this, we were talking about like I didn't bring it up. You were talking about attempting to. Never mind. I had a thought. I was like, like when they like you're growing up and like you like measure your height on the wall and
Right,
like,
right.
oh, at 7 years old he was 5 feet. At 8 years old he was 5'4".
Right.
Like, what if you did that with your penis? We're like, at 9 years old, hard. he was
What?
he was 5 inches. At 22 years old, he was 7
It
inches.
just reverses to he was at 3.
Yeah,
like what happened to the other 2?
At 60 years old, he was 2 inches.
Yo, I think we'd be lying to ourselves if girls and guys didn't measure their anatomy growth through the stages of puberty
Mhm.
in some capacity.
Yeah, you rocking like a 9.
Yeah. I don't know, dog. I think it might be 2 inches from the flow.
I'm looking at his girlfriend to see if she's smiling. Here, this is how we tell. 2, 3. When she smiles, we know 4, 5, 6, 7. Damn, 8. Damn, you an 8. Oh, you rocking that elephant trunk that just be hanging when you walk out the bathroom. That's how you know Cody's awake in the middle of the night going to get water. You don't hear footsteps, you just hear, yep, Cody's getting water. And then it hits the fridge. And then,
Oh my yo.
and then back up the stairs. The stairs is the other way. It's like, and he gets in bed on the.
Oh shit! I'll get my head on that. Yo. Oh my god.
Guys are gonna hear this with their girlfriends. They're like, no, trust me, babe. I have a big one too. He gets up at night. He's walking downstairs. She's like, I hope she hears this. He's just clapping. Hear that, babe?
Oh my god.
Oh man.
That's
All right.
hilarious.
All right, Cody. I have a segment on this podcast called "Spill the Boba," where we're gonna try different boba flavors, and I'm gonna ask you one kind of personal question, maybe something you haven't talked about before, as we
Okay.
try different boba flavors to ease our mind.
I like it.
Let me get the boba. Okay, so last time I did this, it was with Stuart, so
Oh my god.
I had to get very basic flavors. But I know you love boba, and I love boba, so I got some really weird, cool stuff that we could try.
Was I supposed to stop? Because I was so excited for boba
You
time.
already, I get back, I'm like, where's the boba?
It's all gone. I'm like,
All right, before we start with this segment, I just want to give a shout out to Boba Time in North Hollywood on Lancashire for supplying the boba. If you guys want your boba, you better go to North Hollywood and get it. Don't go to the one in West Hollywood because it's too much traffic here. Just go to North Hollywood, baby. Lancashire. Thank you. All right. Let's start with this is one of my favorites they have.
great,
Peach strawberry.
cool. So do we how does this work?
You can just start putting straws and whatever, but I was gonna just try it one by one.
Oh, cool. Love
Last time Stuart just kind of kept talking, so we just didn't really get a chance to
it. Sounds about right.
yeah. Here, you try it first. Peach strawberry.
Where should I put this?
Just throw it on the floor. Oh, why'd you throw it on the floor?
I'm litter. So all right.
Peach strawberry. While I.
It's great.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with it?
No, I'm kidding. I get for talking shit. No, it's good. What's in it?
Peach
What's the white thing?
strawberry.
There's something else other than boba.
Really? Oh, probably fruit pieces.
Oh, got it.
Mhm,
Got it.
mhm.
Got it. No, it's very it's refreshing.
You like
It's
it?
very refreshing.
Well, while you have that boba in your hand, let me try that one, and then we'll
Yeah.
try one more, and then I wanted to do something before we get into this deep question.
Oh shit. Okay.
Mm, mm,
It's
that was
good.
good.
It was very good.
Pick one more. You want to do that one? You already put your straw in?
Sure.
Let me see what it is before you try it so I could. Cody's going to try it first, guys.
Oh my god. It's good. This is awesome. This is so fun.
Lychee milk tea, I think.
But
Okay. So we're going to do something before we get into this personal question. My stomach's growling. I saw this really funny stand-up bit today. We'll give you a shout out. I forgot who said it, but I want to do something where I read off the stand-up bit and you have boba in your mouth. And you got to try not to laugh
oh my
or
god.
it's going to ruin your new merch.
I know. I'm like, oh shit.
All right.
Let's do it.
You better laugh or I sound racist with this one.
Just like purposely just
Just getting more and more canceled every sentence. You
just all I have in my eyes. I just like continually just
All right, fill your mouth up with that with them black balls. Damn, it's already started. That was gonna cancel me right there. All right, don't swallow it. Oh, you have it in your mouth. I knew I was hood when my mom bought me the hood version of Monopoly. Every space was go to jail.
oh my god.
There's more. In Hood Monopoly, you start with a light bill to your name. Like I just started playing. How the fuck do I owe $1,200 already? You can't buy shit in Hood Monopoly, only rent.
Oh my god.
The pieces are Chuck Taylors, pit bulls, Cadillacs with spare tires. That was good.
Garthwall?
You could swallow.
Oh my god. It was nice having a career. You guys are gonna have to revive it. No,
Thought that was great.
That's awesome.
All right, now that we eased into it, let's try one more, and then
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about an incident you had in good old Las Vegas.
Oh boy.
It happened in Vegas, but now it's coming to West Hollywood. It's not staying in that place.
Happened in Vegas. Looks like it's not staying in Vegas. I've never talked about this actually.
So
Like
what
ever.
happened? Give us a rundown.
It was really fucked up. I'm not even gonna play like. It was.
What you doing with that
Pretty
boba
shitty.
over there?
What?
What was going on right there?
You know,
A lot
I
of
just
tongue action.
yeah, like I just noticed that it was like dripping, and I just wanted to be like, you know.
You're very skilled with that tongue. Don't mind
You know
if
what
I
I
do.
Oh my god, I got you. So I just gotta take my time enjoying this boba time.
I like when you talk sexy to me.
Do I pass it back to you? Is this like a communal joint type of situation? Or?
No, you could just keep trying. You just talk. I'll just start handing you boba.
Wow, this is a very royal treatment.
Never mind. I wasn't going to say what I was going to say.
Oh, I wish you would.
Wow, this one good.
Yeah.
Keep talk, baby.
All right.
Talk.
So basically, 21st birthday, and it was with my my family. My grandfather was there.
Oh, so some shit happened when your family was there. Huh?
Yeah, it was like our first like ever like blood family trip. Like like we'd never taken like a family vacation ever. And my family on my blood side they had this tradition when someone turns 21, we take them to Vegas and you have a great time. And so I turned 21 and they were taking me, and I won't divulge what clubs or anything about that, but all I'll say is that I had paid for the bill already, and then they handed me
It was your 21st birthday and you had to pay for the bill at 21?
Yeah. I mean, so they were going to like pay for the bottle service for me, but me and my friends, I had two friends that came with me, and I wanted to treat them. Like I wanted to have a good time, and basically I had just like booked Teen Wolf, like I was
Oh, you were
working.
doing it.
Yeah, and it felt good, and like they also took care of like so many other things. So it was like that moment where like you booked a job and like you have a bunch of money and you're like, I want to splurge, and it feels good to like take care of your friends and like your loved ones. So I was like, yo, I got this. I had already paid for the bill, and then they moved us to a different table for the space because they gave us this like huge ass space, but there was only three of us. It was just me and my two like best friends. And then they're like, hey, would you guys mind going to a smaller section? Like we're starting to get busy. And I was like, yeah, I don't give a shit. And so um all of a sudden they hand me another bill, and I was like, and it was like double, but I had already paid for one of the bills. So I like in the middle of the club, like I went to go to talk to them about it. I didn't even really get to drink. Like I had like maybe two glasses of like, I forget if it was vodka or tequila, but I start to talk to them about the bill. Like, hey, like how did this happen? They're like, no, you gotta pay it. I was like, I'm don't have to pay this because I've already paid the bill. Like,
You're like, but aren't you that Teen Wolf star? You're like, yeah, Teen Wolf, not Twilight.
yo, facts. Exactly. Like, yo, like we're doing good. It's not great, but like we're doing okay. Yo, exactly. And so they basically like start like just getting kind of intense with me, and I'm like, dude, it's my birthday. Um,
Did you like that one, by the way?
no.
No,
Mm-mm.
really? Too sour?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like the other ones?
Yeah, I like the milky. I like the sweeter for boba.
Mm-hmm.
The refreshing ones are like I respect it, but it's not my go-to.
Which one so far? I didn't mean to cut you off, but we got to give a boba review as we go.
Yeah. Well, first of all of the quality is very great. So if you like refreshing and if you like fruity, you
I
should
like
definitely do
fruity.
it. Yeah, then
I love fruity.
that's
Fruity as fuck. Okay, so you were at the club.
they started. They're like, all right, well, we're gonna go to this back room, and I was like, and my heart dropped. I was like, I've seen too many movies. The back room. What is the back room? If this is the front room, which I already feel wildly uncomfortable about, what's the back room? So I was like, okay. So I start following these like two big ass security guards, like taller than me and a lot bigger than me. And I just have this like innate feeling and fear in me that I'm going to end up in some Vegas body bag dumped in the deserts of Vegas. So I pull out my cell phone to record me, and I'm like, guys, if I end up in a body bag, I'm literally doing like a last video just in case for evidence. That's how freaked out I
That's
was.
scary.
Yeah.
There was a video that just surfaced. Did you see it? Where the girl was being followed by some guy on the streets for like an hour. And there's an hour of footage of her just filming this guy super creepy walking behind her. It's scary.
See,
Yeah.
nah, that's not cool. I, especially as a female, like
Yeah.
no offense, females are badass. They will fuck shit up. I get it, but
Honeydew?
like, yeah, absolutely. But still, that's just not cool. That's all I'll say.
All right. So you were filming a video being
pretty good.
followed.
Yeah. When I go to pull out the phone, he was like, "You can't have your phone." I was like, "What?" I looked over him. I was like, "What? Like, why can't I have my phone on back here?" Before I could even get another word out, grabs my arm, like fucking slams me into the wall. And then the other guy gets up on me. They start throwing like hits on me. They literally start jumping my ass. And I'm like, this is, I literally just kind of freeze up because I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm going to let them jump me. I can't do nothing. They both have me. They throw me to the ground. Like two or three other equally giant ass security guards come over and kind of start roughing me up. Like, I literally like had to just like lay there and get accosted.
Oh, you were on the floor and they're just beating you?
Like Essentially, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Wrapping up.
Yeah.
Before we do, I wanted to ask you, um, what's your advice for anyone looking to get into the entertainment world? Where should their mind be? What kind of actions should they be taking? Just what to know to get into it.
If you can be happier doing anything else, go do it. Truly, because it's a bitch. It's very tough. It's very hard. You're gonna have more ups and downs than you'll care to count. It's so rewarding. It's taxing. So that's the first thing that I would say. Just be prepared for the marathon. Um, Work really hard at your craft, like whatever that is. Like study people that are doing what you want to be doing. Like if you want to be an actor, go find like the most intense acting class you can find it and like work at it. Like really do the homework. And if you don't have the money, totally understandable. Like I didn't have a lot of money. Do look up YouTube, like YouTube University. There's so much education on YouTube to do and learn what you want to do. And then thirdly, I'd say learn the business. Like, how do you turn what you do into a business? Because that's the reality of it. Like, you should be able to take whatever your niche is, if you're an actor, a singer, whatever, and learn how to actually build a brand that impacts culture, that gives back, that inspires people, that excites people, and be relentless about it. Like we talked about addiction earlier. Like, let you investing into yourself and your loved ones be an addiction. Laser tunnel focus. You literally only have 365 opportunities in 1 year to push forward towards something. You have so much limited time to make your parents proud, to build a name for yourself, to create the life that you want. And when it's there, enjoy it, respect it, don't let it change you. And when you lose it, because you will at one point, don't let that change you. Everything's a learning lesson. Life is waves. You just got to ride them out, man.
I think the biggest thing is for people that don't make it,
Yeah.
it's either you quit too soon or honestly, like a lot of times people don't understand when what they're doing isn't the right thing for them, you know? Like
Right.
what's the point where you're like, okay, maybe the way I'm doing this, I need to change the route and go another way. Because sometimes people fail because they're holding on to something for too long.
Right.
And then once they realize that this isn't it, they just completely quit, as opposed to taking one step this way and realizing, okay, now I need to take a step in this direction.
Right.
What's the point where you realize?
I think when you've exhausted all options of trying something a particular way, and it's just not working. They say insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. So I think you have to be very self-aware and you have to look at yourself unbiased, like with no bias, and be like, okay, like what do I actually need to improve on? Like what do I actually need to do to get there? Is like you said, sometimes it's a small little pivot. You know, small choices turn into can be like the game changing moments of a lot of situations. And to be honest, what comes with that is just time. Like knowing yourself. You have to really master yourself. I mean, that's like an emotional journey, a spiritual journey, like therapy, like having time to trial and error, to have wins, to lose. Like you have to have enough time to even have the catalog to know what to pivot.
Yeah. On the topic of therapy, is that something you've always been for? Like, this is one way I could actually get help to better myself? Or is it something that took some pain, took some trauma for you to finally understand that this might be the way to do it?
When I first was into foster care, children's services, it was mandatory for me to go to therapy, and I enjoyed it a lot. I hated it, but I also like loved it. Like I remember the moment, even when I was 9, where I was like, oh, I don't think I need this anymore. Like I think I'm like for now I'm good. And they said it. The therapist said it to me. They're like, I think you're good for a while. And so like, there's kind of just this knowing, and I think that you know, we as humans move so fast through life that we're not even aware of how stuff is fully affecting us, good and bad. And then you sometimes will just come into this point in your life where you're like, all right, I need to sit with someone who isn't biased, who's not a mother that loves me unconditionally, a best friend that's a ride or die, my dog who can't talk back to me. I need to talk to someone who has helped people get over their plateaus of where they're at in life that are similar to mine and give me logical, rational advice and steps to overcome this. So that way I can continue to learn and continue to write my book. I need to get over this chapter. And so I'm a huge component for therapy. I think you're a badass rock star if you can have the guts to face your demons and your wrongdoings. And whether your wrongdoings are toward yourself, if you hurt yourself, whatever that means to you, whether you've hurt other people because of your trauma, if you're able to look at yourself and say, I want to be better. I know I can be better. I want to be the best me. I deserve to have peace. I deserve to have happiness. I deserve to love and to accept love. And that sounds simple, but a lot of people struggle with that. So I think if you have the guts to do that, man, like my hat is off to you, and you inspire other people because you will treat people differently. And they'll ask you, what, you seem different. Something's changed with you. It's like, yeah, I put the work in on myself.
I think a question I have is there ever a time when maybe it's not, you're not meant for therapy in that specific situation, and that you might come out stronger afterwards, not going through it and having to figure it out yourself? Or is it always, do you think if therapy is on your mind, you should go for it 100% of the time?
I always say take everything with a grain of salt. I don't think that there's a one fix to anything. I think, again, you have to be really in touch with yourself. Also, finding the right therapist. There's some people that go to therapy and they have a horrible experience with a therapist, and that can be very defining for them to not want to go and seek help. But I think when you find that something is so far out of your hands, or you're ruining relationships, or or you're really harming yourself and you just feel out of control, I think seeing a therapist is the right therapist for you is very important. Do I think you need a therapist for everything? No. And I think as long as you are moving, you know, as long as you're moving like healthy, like in a healthy way, things aren't blowing up in your face and like things are going well. No, you don't need to. But again, you just gotta be in tune with yourself and aware of what are the events going on around you. You know?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
You want to talk about your merch?
Yeah, man. Oh, sure. Yeah, this is
Well, before we start, Cody has had this idea for a very long time. I even have like t-shirts in my closet that you gave me saying, I want to make my merch on this, but I didn't. So
yeah.
you've been at this for a long time.
Yeah, this is
And what is that?
yeah, and I'm so not trying to be braggadocious when I say this. This is, to me, it's I've put so much of my heart and like ideas and into this that it's, and when I say this is no disrespect to other people's merch lines, but the way I see it, this is a designer line.
Look at it.
I mean,
It looks so good.
yeah,
Turn around, show them the back.
yeah, dog. I don't know what we'll be able to see.
Can we see that, Armand? Can we see the back?
Yeah. So it's called New Threads. Uh,
New threads.
New Threads. And when I first started entertainment, I was like, I'm gonna be an actor. I will do music. I will own a fashion line one day. I will write a TV series. Like I've from a very young age knew what I was going to do, and no one could tell me otherwise. And so the fact that like I'm even wearing this. It's like almost emotional for me, but like it's such a dream of mine that I care so deeply about. And like to me, New Threads really goes with the music that I'm making. It's like a new me. It's like a new healthy finding yourself. And I think what's important, like what I feel like this brand represents is a lot of people like to define you by something, whether it's a job that you've had or things that they've heard about you or something like this. And it's like New Threads is about overcoming what people think of you and starting your new chapter. Like you're not bound emotionally or mentally in chains. Like you can create a new you. You can stop addiction. You can stop bad behavior. You can stop bad patterns. You can be a new you. The second you choose to be something different, you have that capability. And yeah, I'm so excited. And like the number 28 on the back, I'm not going to say what it's for, but if you're an OG fan, you know what the number 28 is. So I want to give a little nod to that. And we're going to be releasing a song called Rockstar.
My favorite song.
Kia's favorite song. Yeah, man, I'm so excited. Like we're going to be releasing Rockstar with this. And, you know, I think the song Rockstar is going to be a kind of like a little intro for more about like who I am, what I actually went through. As an actor, I was always told the lines, and I had to put my past experience and emotions into a character. With my music and with the clothing line, I get to be in control. I get to say my narrative. And so that's why this is just so important to me. And I feel confident, like when I wear this, like I like the way the hoodie like fits on me. And I just want people, like my whole niche that I want is like I want to build people up and I want them to feel confident. I want, like, when they put on this hoodie, I want them to feel that. And so I'm just really excited.
Congrats.
Thanks, man.
Go buy the merch when it comes out. Go check out Rockstar when it drops on what date?
It'll be about 4 weeks out. We don't have a date yet, man, but it's going to be like in the next 4 to 5 weeks.
When you guys are seeing this, 2 weeks, go listen to Rockstar.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Well, thank you, Cody, for joining me.
Yeah, man.
This was a great talk.
Thanks, man.
Honestly, our conversations always go all over the place. I wanted to make this feel as much of a car ride with you as it could, and I think it did.
Yeah.
I think it felt like the cameras weren't on, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you for your time. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned for a new podcast episode every Friday. Today we had Cody. Next time we're going to have someone else. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys next week. What's so funny? What?
Shit, you're going to have someone else?
What do you mean no shit, I'm going to have someone else?
It's a bro.
Have you not seen podcasts? They have the same people on every time.
It's a limited podcast. It's like a limited TV series, just 2 episodes. Drop the mic.
Thank you guys for the last episode. We are out. Mic drop. Psych. All right. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Adios.
Yeah. You want to get some Thai food?
Let's get some Thai food.
Cool.